Hello everyone, welcome to Milito English. Tô aqui arrumando as coisas que daqui a pouco nós vamos receber aqui a Jeni Shih, que é uma amiga queridíssima, e nós vamos falar de inteligência artificial com ela, que é naturalmente extremamente inteligente. Mais do que isso, ela é uma amiga querida, ela é... Estou mandando aqui para ela o link, que daqui a pouco ela já deve chegar por aí para já conversar com a gente. Então, se tiver alguém aí assistindo, já me manda um hello, para eu saber que vocês estão aí. Tem alguém assistindo, manda um hello para eu saber que esse negócio está funcionando. Ok. Então, vamos lá. Para saber que eu fiz tudo certo, porque semana passada eu não consegui entrar no link, eu fiz uma bagunça que o negócio não funcionou. Mas hoje acho que está funcionando, né? Então, quem estiver aí assistindo, já manda um hello para mim, para eu saber que está tudo certo. E daqui a pouco a Jeni Shih vai chegar por aqui. Simone, minha amiga querida Teacher Simone, já está aí a postos. Espero que o Teto, marido da Teacher Simone, também esteja ali nos assistindo. E eu só estou esperando aqui. Hoje eu estou meio atrasada. Deixa só eu mandar para a Jeni Shih o link que ela tem que entrar para vir aqui falar comigo. Que nós vamos conversar hoje sobre inteligência artificial. A Jeni vai explicar muito melhor. Francisco também está aí. Oi, Francisco. Ela vai explicar muito melhor do que eu. Mas a Jeni é uma amiga muito querida. Eu a conheço faz aí uns 15 anos, eu acredito. Nós temos alguns amigos em comuns, que inclusive vão vir aqui bater um papo comigo na semana que vem, então não percam o papo da semana que vem. Jeni Shih entrando. Hello, Jeni Shih.
Hello, teacher. How are you?
So much.
So glad to see you.
So glad
How have you been?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay here, completely locked,
Yeah,
but
me
safe
too.
and sound.
Yeah, that's what's important nowadays, right?
Yes, exactly. That's the most important thing.
So, Tamara Barrichelli já está aí com a gente. Tamara, cadê sua mãe? Não deixa ela perder, Tamara. Chama a sua mãe, que ela já tô agora acostumada com a sua mãe aí assistindo. Chama ela. A mãe da Tamara veio semana passada. Tamara é uma amiga minha de infância. Essa mãe dela estava aí assistindo semana passada. Então, quem está aí assistindo, falar rapidinho. A Jeni Shih é minha amiga, é uma amiga muito querida de muitos anos, né? Temos alguns amigos em comuns que, inclusive, vão vir aqui na semana que vem bater um papo comigo, que são meus compadres, o Sérgio, o Fortuna e a Elaine. E a gente se conheceu através deles. E fizemos, né? A gente participa de alguns trabalhos voluntários juntos. E além desses trabalhos voluntários, eu sou uma fã incondicional da Jeni Shih, né? Eu escrevi agora há pouco no meu Facebook que é recíproco, né? Que eu vou conversar com a Jeni Shih sobre inteligência artificial. Ela, que é uma pessoa que que é extremamente inteligente naturalmente. Então, assim, né? Vou conversar com alguém naturalmente inteligente sobre inteligência artificial. E o nosso papo aqui é sempre um pouquinho em inglês, um pouquinho de português. A Jeni fala inglês maravilhosamente bem, melhor do que eu, até eu acho. Né? Ela fala aí todo dia, o tempo inteiro, mais do que eu, sem dúvidas. E então ela tem um monte de coisa para contar pra gente. Então vocês vão ter que falar assim: Jeni, slow down, vai devagar, para a gente ir aprendendo. Mas a gente vai aprendendo e aproveitem para fazer várias perguntas. A Jeni, a sua mãe é chinesa. Você nasceu no Brasil, né, Jeni?
Eu sou bem brasileira. Aliás, eu sou paulistana, nascida na Avenida Paulista.
Olá, né?
Não poderia ser mais paulista, né? Paulistana.
Jeni was born in Brazil, but her mother and her father were born in China. Então, e ela já viajou para a China, ela já viajou o mundo inteiro a trabalho e lazer, então ela tem um monte de coisa, um monte de história muito legal para contar para a gente. Mas eu chamei a Jeni Shih aqui porque, além de todas as experiências, né, pessoais que ela tem, tudo que ela tem para contar para a gente, ela é uma das, como é que eu falo, Jeni, coordenadoras do trabalho de inteligência artificial do Watson. Conta um pouco para a gente quem que você é. What do you do, Jeni?
So yes, I'm very engaged in the area of artificial intelligence in Latin America, and I've been in this area for 4 years or so. So it's not so long, but actually I've been working for IBM for 30 years. So I've been well, actually, I'm a lover of technology since I was a kid. So not only my work, but it's really something that I really enjoy. And I think it is fascinating how technology changes the world, changes our lives. And so, well, regardless of titles or anything, I've been engaged in several projects implementing artificial intelligence. And I think we'll have a lot to share today.
Good. And when you think about artificial intelligence, and especially when you think about IBM, the first name that pops up is Watson. Who is Watson?
Okay, so Watson, well, you probably all know Watson as one of the biggest friend from a movie star, but that's not the Watson, right?
That's not the Watson.
I'm referring to. So Watson is the name of the system that we have in IBM. It's our artificial intelligence platform, and we named Watson as a reference for our first CEO, Thomas J. Watson.
Okay.
So back in 2011, IBM participated in a TV show. It's a quiz show called Jeopardy. Not sure how many of our friends here knows about Jeopardy, because we don't have.
Quem quer ser milionário, mais ou menos, né? O show.
Exactly. Yeah.
Quem quer ser milionário is the Jeopardy.
Exactly. So we were invited for this challenge where we had the two biggest champions of Jeopardy, two human beings. And IBM was invited to have the artificial intelligence system in there. So we named it Watson the first time there. And then we had all these quiz show on TV. Two champions versus Watson. So it was very interesting. We have on YouTube some videos.
And who got the best out of it?
Well, the show had needed some adjustment because we had person and machine. So there were some adjustments. The length and the way it was conducted had some changes. So in the initial phases, Watson was losing. So the two guys, they were beating us hard. But then out of the sudden, it's artificial intelligence system, right? So it changed the game, and at the end, the very final, we won from the two guys, the two champions.
Okay. So let's just say good evening to Miriam Barrichelli, que é a mãe da Tamara, que eu mandei chamá-la, minha... I already told her she's gonna come here and talk to me at another opportunity, hopefully. So welcome everyone else who's watching. So se tem quem mais estiver assistindo, quem ainda não mandou um hello, manda um hello aí pra gente saber que vocês estão aí. né? Então, rapidinho, para quem está chegando agora, a Jeni estava contando para a gente do Watson, que é o sistema de inteligência artificial da IBM, e ela falou, né? Watson is named after the creator of IBM. Is that it?
Yeah, the CEO, the founder of IBM.
Of
yeah,
IBM. The founder
yes.
of IBM. Então, quem viu o textinho que eu coloquei sobre o Halloween lá no Instagram esse fim de semana, né? Was named after, né? Ele recebeu o nome em homenagem ao Watson, que foi um dos fundadores da IBM. IBM founder. Very good. And I have this curiosity. Does Watson have a shape? Because every time I read about Watson or I see the name Watson and they say, oh, Watson is the artificial intelligence, I imagine, a robot like something Star Wars like sci-fi movies. Beep, 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 beep.
R2D2. Right?
Kind of like Rosie from the Jetsons. All I need to know is if Watson can do my laundry and my cleaning for me, especially during these pandemics. That's all I need.
Well, it's interesting, yeah, because every time we talk about artificial intelligence, it's interesting because we human beings, right? We like to give shape. We like to humanize things, right? Mm-hmm. So I already saw people calling mobile phone, a cell phone by a name, or our pets, right? All your pets, Yara, and my pets, right? Yes. We talk with them. They're not pets; they are humans.
Yes, and they understand. But I must confess, guilty of charge, that all my cars have names. Cars. Yeah.
See? Yeah.
So the one that I have now, for example, is Fê. Fê, because Ferrari, it's it's red, it's Fiat, so it's an Italian red car. Obviously it's a Ferrari, therefore it's a Ferrari. So I call it Fê. So.
Yeah. So see, you are a perfect example, right? As a normal human being that we like to humanize, and we tend to just humanize, and people think about artificial intelligence as a robot. We have so many sci-fi movies. Sci-fi, okay?
Yeah, sci-fi.
Okay. So, but actually, Watson is not a robot. As I mentioned, Watson is a system.
Okay.
It is based on the cloud. So it is an IBM cloud system that it's on the cloud somewhere, right? But actually, most importantly, where it sits, where it lives, or where it is, this system is available for everyone who has access to the system, to this platform, and it provides several kinds of services that we call. This is the terminology we use.
Okay.
It has several services. What I mean by services, it's kind of capabilities. Okay. So the system learns. So when I say something, I can type in as we text message, right? Or I can just speak natural language, right? Our human being natural language. I just speak and it hears and it does something. So
a very important question for us. Can artificial intelligence learn languages? Todos os meus alunos, at some point, viram para mim e falaram assim, ai, teacher, eu queria que tivesse um chip, e eu pudesse colocar um chip, e eu aprendesse inglês com um chip. Existe um chip? Ou você acha que vai um dia existir um chip para a gente poder aprender uma língua assim? Tem quase isso, né? O Google Translator já faz quase isso, né?
I'm a dreamer and I'm a techie one, a geek one. And in my world, in everything I believe, of course it is possible. Why not? Okay. Right? And actually, nowadays, the other day when I was in a trip and I went into this store with tons of these gadgets that I love, right? there was a very tiny thing. It was as small as this thing here, right? You just have a button and you could choose as many languages as it was available in that platform. Again, it is a platform. It was stored in the little gadget. It just connects and you could choose translation of any language to any language. That is so cool. So is it possible? Yes, for sure. If these kind of things can be as small as something like this, why not one day in a short term, in a near future, become something small and like a ship and you can introduce in your body, right? Wow. These are things that exist today already. Wow. Well, it's not commercial, but there are things that are possible. Why not?
Very good. So Miriam Barrichelli is saying that you are speaking very clearly.
Oh, thank you. Well, teacher, if you want me to make it harder, we can switch to Mandarin.
Oh, no, please. Hold on, let me get my artificial intelligence Google so I can. So, yeah, guys, Jeni, she speaks Mandarin too. But,
just because I was born in a Chinese family. Don't. Just
that doesn't count much. So, I remember the first time I saw that the Google Translator had this function that you could take a picture of a Chinese or a Japanese thing with all those symbols, letters, whatever you call them, and then it could translate. And I was like, I can't believe this. It can recognize and translate from a picture, because when you type it's something, but wow, I was so amazed. Yes.
Well, this is one of the functionalities that I just mentioned, that the artificial intelligence, first, it's not a product that you go to a store and you buy your artificial intelligence and you call it Faye.
Okay. For example, you can't buy like memory, you can't install like a memory card.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not a product today, right? So it's a system, and it has several types of functions or capabilities. And what you just described is something that we call visual recognition functionality, where you take a picture and it can do something, but you have to tell your AI, artificial intelligence, right? So you tell your AI what you have to do, what you want to do with that picture. If I can just share one example of a real word today that already uses AI. So there are some cars from Volkswagen where you have this cognitive manual. And what is that? Well, Yara, probably somewhere in your life, you faced a situation where your car, suddenly there's a little light in your panel that it's blinking. And there are the easy ones where that you see and you know what it is, but
forgot to put oil always.
Exactly.
Always I forget to put gas.
Well, other times the little tiny icon there, it's just that you don't know what it is.
Yes.
What do you have to do?
Get the manual and read the manual and find the little icon and
get the glasses because I can't read, right? The tiny words, this kind of thing. Well, I can tell you, some of the cars from Volkswagen, it is using Watson system, and what you do is just that you pick your cell phone, you take a picture from the panel, right? Of course, if you have that car, you have to download the application on your mobile phone. So you take a picture from the panel, and the application will tell you, oh, you know what, Yara? And this happened to me the other day. This little light in here is showing that, well, you have a flex car, so you can use both types of gas. But there is this little tiny thing in the front that you have to put gasoline. Right? So that thing was empty. I never knew that there was something like that.
I never knew it existed and that it could go empty.
Exactly. Yeah. So instead of going to the manual, look into what it means, go to the page, find all that, you just go there, take a picture, and it will tell you because it talks to you, right?
Or even worse, go to the mechanic and then he's going to charge you, 200 reais and, make up a whole bunch of problems, and it was just a little gas in the little tank. Wonderful.
Exactly. So
these
things are to facilitate our world.
Yeah. Miriam is asking where you have lived in your life. You have lived abroad anywhere, or have you always lived here in Brazil?
I have always lived in São Paulo. Born, raised, and lived all my life. It is true that I traveled a lot, and I spent like a short time outside, but never lived outside like for years or nothing like that.
When you say a short period of time, how long would that be?
Just like a couple of months. Okay. So nothing longer than that.
Okay, wonderful. Very good. Here. Miriam saying that she has studied Mandarin for a year before. She went to China, but she doesn't have a chance to speak because she doesn't understand anything. And she says her intonation was horrible. Maybe you can say something in Chinese to her that maybe I won't, but maybe Miriam will understand.
Well, the very easy and natural one. Miriam, 你好吗? 好不好?
你好, I remember from the Olympic Games.
I told you already, Yara. You know.
Yes. I think that's all I know. Well, it's a beginning, right? And it's a very good way to begin, actually.
Yes, actually. But Miriam, let me tell Miriam, right, that as she is listening, that when I went to China, I was meeting my family, and there was this little cousin, and probably he was like 5, and he came to me and asked, "Why do you talk so weird?"
Thank you. I'm making this great effort, and I think I'm the bomb, and then why do you say everything wrong? And thanks.
Yeah, exactly. So I was okay. I'll take it as a compliment.
Oh my goodness. So let's see. This is a good question. Do you think man is getting dumber while machines are getting smarter? Or do you think we're getting lazier? Because I know I am. Sometimes I think about things, even in English. Sometimes I have this. I learned English from English. I didn't learn here in Brazil. I went to England to learn English. So I have a very, very big difficulty in remembering the words in Portuguese, or vice versa. So sometimes you come to me and you say the most basic words, and you say sometimes I don't know, how do you say doll in Portuguese? I'm like, a doll, como chama? Aquele negócio que parece uma pessoinha de brincar. Da pessoa olha para mim, boneca.
That hard word that you were looking for.
So I have this problem constantly. So sometimes I'm trying to remember, or a student asks me for a word, And I said, you know what, just let me go to Google because I'm lazy, you know. So do you think this artificial intelligence is helping us get lazier, or how do you think that works?
I think that lazy would not be the word that I would use, because I think we as human beings, of course, we like to get some rest, some naps, some lazy times. But if you really is there, and we're living in this quarantine, right? That we're all locked
Yes.
at home. And you can sleep as much as you want. But actually, it's also from the human being that our brain needs something, right? Needs something more. Mm-hmm. That's why we watch movies, we watch series, we read books, we look for things to do, because our brain cannot stop, mm-hmm. right? So I would say that lazy wouldn't be exactly the right word, okay. But what I believe is that all these AI systems, it really helps us to really focus on the things that we humans cannot be replaced at all by a machine, mm-hmm. right? Because there are many things that we have to do today that doesn't really require intelligence, doesn't really require our brain capability. Just give you one example, right? GPS. When GPS started, and even before Waze, right? And now with Waze, even more, right? If you go to some address, if you have to go to somewhere that you don't know, you turn it on and you just go, right?
Yeah.
Because before that, Yara, how did you used to go to a place that you have an address and you didn't have an idea on how to get there?
I had to get the guide. Man, I remember the guides in São Paulo. And they're like a phone book thing, and then you need to find the street, and then find the page, and then find. It was like a batalha naval, you know. You had to, it was
and go to page something, and go to the other page.
Yeah, and then there are so many streets that are not there anymore, but they're still in the guide, and so many streets that they're the opposite. You know, they're new and they didn't make it to the guide. It was a problem.
Exactly.
So just say hello to Francine. Francine is here with us. She's just saying boa noite.
Boa noite, Francine. Welcome.
I hope she's enjoying.
So just completing here, Yara, your question, right? Mm-hmm. So things like this, when technology arrives in our lives, it really helps us to gain some more time to us that could be used with quality. Okay. So in my case, well, nowadays not, because I'm not going around, but when I was stuck in São Paulo's traffic, I just turn it on the Waze and I just follow it, and I could be using my brain to listen to podcasts, to music or something. Mm-hmm. So that could be more joyful, you know? Uh-huh. So I wouldn't say that we get lazy. We just use our brain in a more intelligent or productive way.
Very good. And you mentioned a point that a lot of people are afraid of. So I have to ask you, do you think machines will ever completely replace humans, or do you think there are things that, or what are things that you can think of that machines will never be able to replace humans?
This is always the question that comes up also, because I think many times we are so influenced by Terminator, mm-hmm. by Skynet, and all these sci-fi movies where a machine... Exactly. So, no, I don't believe at all. This is not going to happen. Machines will not replace people on this planet or anywhere else, just because we as humans, we're so amazing beings that we do things that it's nature, right? And nature is perfect. Machine is created by humans, right? We teach machines. So that's not going to happen. So say like a creativity, like say, yeah, the things we do together, right? Like going to the social work and preparing yakisoba to those kids and play with those kids to provide a dream to kids that really have limited conditions in their reality, right? Machines will not provide these kind of a feeling, sentiment, or it can, of course, create a several environment. And we talk a lot today about these VRs, these big glasses, you know. So you can have experiences, but you really don't see good energy in others people. So I don't believe at all.
Do you think they will ever fall in love, like a Wall-E and Eve type of thing?
I love Wall-E.
Very cute. Wall-E.
It's so nice. Well, who knows, right? You know, AI systems, they're just babies today. It's just starting. And I think it will completely change our lives in the very near future. But, you know, these are all built by human beings. So the big question is, what are we building in using these machines? So this is the big question. The technology, it is there, right? It's just like a car, right? Would you, Yara, give a Ferrari to a young kid of 15 years old?
No.
Why?
Because they're not ready.
Exactly. You know?
They're not going to make a good use out of it.
Yeah. Or responsible use.
Exactly.
Right? It will use. Because it can drive, probably will hit the first tree. You know?
What I mean, like, it's not a good use. It's not going to be able to do what you're supposed to do with it, and it's not going to even have the respect. The understand what it means to have a Ferrari in your hand.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. The technology is available. The thing is, what do you do with that?
And tell us, what have you done with it? Do you have any nice stories of usage of Watson? You already told us about the car. Do you have any other stories to tell us?
Yeah, I participated in I lead a project some years ago. Probably you know about CCXP, the Comic Con in São Paulo.
Experience in São Paulo. It was that huge thing. Yes.
It's the huge, largest geek conference, geek Comic Con from the world, right? So I was invited to join them. In a very unique situation in a project. So in all this geek world, not sure how much you know about the cosplayers. So cosplayers, they're not fantasy people that wears fantasy like Halloween that we
like
just
costume. They're not costume.
No. Because the cosplayer, and who's really geek like myself, right? You really incorporate that that person, right? So I don't know. Let's say Yoda, because I'm really a lover of Yoda. You can see here by my
okay.
I'm a lover of Yoda, and let's say if I wear a Yoda costume, I will perform like Yoda. It's not just. No, never. Well, I joined this event, but I didn't wear any costumes. I wasn't.
So here is a challenge for you to dress yourself as Yoda and take a picture and send it to me, and I'm going to post it on the Milito English Instagram. It's a challenge for Jane, ó. Eu quero, a hashtag do Milito English é eu quero, porque a gente tem que fazer o que a gente quer. Eu quero ver a Jane de Yoda. Mestre Yoda Shih.
Yeah. So we were invited to have Watson as an assistant to the judges of the competition of the cosplays. So it was very interesting because we used this visual recognition technology to take pictures for of all the participants of the competition. Many characters there that I have never seen, didn't know from where, and everything was open, right? So it could be as easy as Iron Man or Batman that everybody knows. But there were all other characters from games, from video games. So I'm not a gamer. I'm a geek, but not really gamer. So we used that. So we used the artificial intelligence to take pictures and really provide a technical evaluation of that participant, their costume, how the color was similar to the colors of the real character. So nice. It was very interesting, and the testimonial that we got from the winner of the competition was that he was the cosplayer was from a character from a game. It was huge and nice one, and he said, "Well, you know what? Many times the judges they gave the score based on their knowledge, not necessarily." Based on the real criteria of similarity.
Cool.
So it was really interesting to do that.
And did you have anything like that before without the help of Watson, that you could compare the results to see how more accurate it was, or you didn't have it?
No, it was the very, very first time we ever did something like that. So it was crazy project that they presented to me, and I said, why not? We can build it. Yes. So I got the team there and built it up, and it really became a big reference because it was really something innovative, creative, and fun.
Cool.
And really that could be easily be understandable for people who's not from technology. Yes. So it is an easy way to lend some of these concepts to people who are not from the technology world. So it was really, really fun. I really enjoyed.
Cool, nice. João Guilherme is watching us. He said, "Good evening, guys. This is my type of talk." I guess he likes it. So hello, João. You're welcome. Please stay with us. Let me see. I don't know. I remember I was watching your talk at the TEDx, the TED Talk, and you were telling us how artificial intelligence is everywhere and things we don't even think of. Like I had never thought how just taking a picture and posting on Instagram or Facebook, there was how much of artificial intelligence and how much it had behind it, you know. So if you could say a little bit about it. Oh, Elaine has just arrived too. Comadre, next week it's your turn to be here.
Oi, Elaine! Saudades de você! Okay, so yes, AI is closer to everyone more than you can imagine. The volume of projects that companies are implementing AI systems is huge. One big example is like, and we can give names here, right?
Yeah. Feel free.
Okay, so
the only thing we cannot do is play movies and music. All the rest, you can say whatever name. You can even sing if you want.
No, I don't sing. I don't dance. Thank you, but I can talk.
Okay.
I'm not. So, like, if you think about Bia from Bradesco, and they did a huge marketing campaign, introducing the artificial intelligence, because Bia is Bradesco Inteligência Artificial. It is based on Watson behind it. And it's kind of thing, if you think of the way you used to call your bank, whatever is the bank, right? And let's say if you wanted to know the balance of your account, right? You go there, probably there was, years before, there was someone in the other side of the phone to pick it up, to talk to you, to reach the system, to pull the data, and to tell you, right? Well, do you think these people were really happy doing that and taking phones, thousands of calls, sitting there the entire day, answering something?
Yeah.
Now, this is what I mean by the AI systems, right? It's not going to replace people, but there are tasks that are really not productive for human beings. So the systems will be helping us. And of course, we have to learn new things, but this is, I see as an opportunity, right? I have the opportunity to learn different things that could change the world. I don't know. I love to change the world, right? Make the world a better place. So systems like that on call centers we have been using. I just mentioned about the cars and cars. Well, these kind of things, right? If you go on a car, any car, right, today, that you get in there and you don't put your seatbelt on, it will be that alarm, right? So you really put it on, otherwise...
So you make it shut up.
Exactly. So these are sensors that could be connected to systems where you can have more activities or more tasks or whatever, right? So the other day I was talking about intelligent home, right? And there are many of these systems already, right? So you are not at home, but you have the capability to go on your mobile phone and you close the window if that it's provided sensors at home and systems that could close and open, this kind of thing, because it's going to rain, so I close my window. But there are other activities, like I'm living at my parents since we started the pandemic. And, they are my kids. I used to say my kids because dad is 93, mom is 80.
Yeah, I have an 86-year-old daughter here too.
Exactly. They are fun, but they are starting many times to forget the fire on.
Oh.
So if you have a sensor there, you can just automatically shut it down, right? So there are many things that are already there. Technology is available. Do we have in our lives more than we can imagine? Less that we could be exploring, just because there are many things that we just said, right? A car, you have to be careful on providing technology when people are not ready yet on how to use it.
Yeah, I remember when iPhone came out and Steve Jobs was giving a speech. If I'm not mistaken, it was him. And he was telling us about what we would be able to do, with the iPhones, because at that time there were like no camera, no WhatsApp that you could, all these things that we do. And and then he was saying, you guys have no idea all the things we have already planned, and we already know it's possible. We have everything done, but we can't just come out and release it. We have to do it slowly. So every time something comes out, it makes me wonder, is that what was he mentioning, or is there more? What is the next one? So I hate that talk, because he always makes me wonder, how far did he go? How much did he know? I always wonder that. João Guilherme is asking here, what are the risks of us losing control of a really advanced AI that evolves by itself without human intervenes? And what is called a singularity?
I think that, as I was mentioning before, technology is available. It's much more capable than we can imagine. The real challenge is not what AI can do, but what human beings are using for. Mm-hmm. And I leave here a challenge for whoever has seen or not. There is a very interesting documentary on Netflix called Social Dilemma. Mm-hmm. I think, it's debatable, right, if it is a documentary or not. But anyway, I think there is an approach there that I think it's important for us at least to think and reflect on the possibilities. Technology is available. I'm not sure that we have the right leaders in the world today to use the best of technology for the best for human race. This is what keeps me really anxious, because I know the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I think if you look back at history, I don't think very rarely we had leaders that had real good intentions at heart. But the thing is, before technology could go that far, they would only be able to do so much in a very to a very small group of people. The thing is, now with technology, everything you do reaches the whole world. And when you have all these leaders that I don't think they're worse now. If you look, to the whole history, we always have leaders that you look at them and say, come on, how could someone so mean, lead everybody, and how could you see everybody following them like that? And it's been happening, over time. And if you are a Christian, from the time when Christ was at the cross and someone said, put him on the cross and throw stones and let's give him, and everybody, yeah, let's do it. So it's something that it's been the same forever. You have someone with this stupid idea and everybody follows them. But the thing now with technology is, before you could shout it out loud and only probably 100 people around you would be able to hear you. Now they shout out loud the same thing, and the whole world is able to hear them and follow them from wherever they are. They don't need to move and go there anymore. They can do it from where they are. So I think that the need for better people, for better leaders with better desires and better intentions is much more important now and much more eminent now than it was before. Exactly because of how much they can spread those ideas. And it's,
So that's why I believe that, again, the challenge is not if technology can, because it can. Mm-hmm. The question is what for, and what is the purpose of that? Mm-hmm. Purpose we know there are so many things. Here. Exactly. So ethics, I do believe, and I've heard this, not my phrase, but I heard this and it really shocked me, that nowadays a tree worth more dead than alive. A whale worth more dead than alive. So something's really wrong with the values, with human race values today. Right? This cannot be correct. It cannot be right. Mm-hmm. So, again, the technology discussion, we can debate.
And right? You just mentioned ethics, and something just came to me. When a doctor, when a health professional graduate, especially, they have all those ethics. They have to swear, and even when I took business administration, also I had ethics, and you are forced to abide by ethics. We know a lot of people still don't, even though you have this. All this technology, university and courses, at any point, do you also have to promise to work with it with ethics, or isn't there, or is that something implied? Is there anything that people that work and make all this artificial intelligence and stuff, do they have to go there and say, no, I promise I will only use it for good things with ethics or anything, or not?
Well, I think this is all, there are two sides, right? First is the professional, the person itself, mm-hmm. and I can tell you my intentions, my purpose mm-hmm, is to mm-hmm. provide something that can really help us transform this world and provide this democracy mm-hmm. of access of technology to anyone. Because mm-hmm. today, we don't have a democracy, right? Not everyone, and we are seeing this in this pandemic mm-hmm. that not everyone has access. Mm-hmm. So I do believe that anyone has the right to have access, right? Mm-hmm. But this is me. This is Jeni thinking. Mm-hmm. I work for a company that has the ethics as a mandatory thing. We do have several trainings and things just reinforcing how important and what is our responsibility, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if you have that, if it's enforced like that.
Yeah, but we have companies and companies, right? Yes. Not criticizing anyone, but just look at the news, right? How some of the data that we provide as users, how this data has been used, right? Yes. So yeah. I think there are the two sides. One thing is the company, but the companies, the technology companies by themselves, mm-hmm. they are made of people. So if people are not with good intentions, so what is the purpose of that also, right? So yes. you have limitations also.
Well, let me see. Simone here is saying, it sounds weird, but I'm afraid of how fast technology is changing our lives. And Tamara is saying that sometimes she thinks it's impossible to follow the technology. It's changing very fast. I share with what Tamara is saying, especially with the phones and the iPhone. I mean, everything else. That feeling that we are always behind, no matter how on top of it we are always behind.
But this is interesting because who said that we have to be following each and every new version to be updated, right? And I'll share just my experience. Mm-hmm. So I have been telling my mom and my dad, well, you know what, always use a phone because, right, it's so easier to find you if you have a phone that they didn't want a phone. Okay, so quarantine, and I moved to my mom's house, and we were all locked there. And one day I said, well, Mom, did you know that you can call your sisters that they live in Taiwan using a phone, right? Using the internet. I know you don't know what is internet, Mom, but you can use something like a phone wire, right? And you don't pay 1 penny. And she said, what? Because to the place where I was saying that she could call, she was, oh, yes, of course, I can pick up the phone. But the thing is, when I told her, you don't pay 1 penny to call, and you can talk for hours. And by the way, you can talk with all your different sisters all together.
At the same time.
At the same time, because one sister lives in Japan, the others are in different cities in Taiwan. She was, really? So you know what? In this pandemic, Mom became a heavy user of cell phone, of WhatsApp, or social media. Not to be browsing because that's too hard for her, but she talks to her. Not only she talks, but she can see. She does the video conference. They don't use WhatsApp in China. They use Line instead of WhatsApp, but it's a similar application. So she can see her sisters, and she was like the first time she talked and was laughing so much. She called her sister and said, hey, this is me from Brazil. Oh, you are old and fat.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. No, it's the camera. You should have told her. The camera does that to us. Guys, I need to tell you something. I'm not this fat. I'm actually really skinny. I look just like Angelina Jolie or maybe Giselle Bündchen. All these other things that you are seeing is just a camera effect. It's not real. We have Sergio Fortuna in the house now. Sergio Fortuna will be here next week with Elaine talking about Grupo Aurora. So, Jeni, you know what Grupo Aurora is. You are part of Grupo Aurora, just as Sergio and Elaine and me, and you are one of the founders of Grupo Aurora too. So tell us what Grupo Aurora is.
Oh, but yeah, I can do a spoiler, right?
Okay, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave to them because, yes, we're huge friends.
Yeah.
And we just believe that we can do more than we used to do to help others. Doesn't mean that we have to be connected to any entity. It's as simple as, instead of sitting on your couch on a Sunday watching nothing on TV, just go and grab some food or make a kid laugh or something like that. Yes. Small things, many times worth $1 billion, right? Yes. So, but I won't talk too much. Otherwise, I'll just leave to our friends there and be spoiler from them, right?
But one thing that I want to ask you, and I brought up Grupo Aurora, is because, like I mentioned during your presentation that I wrote here on YouTube, is that you are involved in many different social work, social projects. You are an amazing person like that. I mean, we see so many people that they say they're involved, but what they do is like write a check, and give a check, and they're okay with that. That's not the type of person you are, or Serge and Elaine. We see you going there. I have seen you we have cooked food and brought to homeless people that literally live under the bridge. I remember once we went to a place near near Ciagesp, and there was a family living there. It was my first time going there, but I saw you had been there many times. You knew the name of them. You knew the kids. You remember the kids when they were little, and they have been growing up. And we don't see a lot of people doing that, and it's amazing. So one thing that I wanted to ask you is, how is artificial intelligence? How can we use artificial intelligence, or how it has been used to help in social projects, in helping others? How can you use artificial intelligence to reach more people so we can help more?
Yeah. I'm not engaged on any specific project right now, but things that I know are happening, and I have been providing some support to other groups that are doing that. One of the things that a group, and these are part of friends from IBM and from other groups that I joined, they're kind of mapping community population. And mapping meaning what? It's interesting because the data that they provided, it's a little bit of shocking, but it's a reality, right? Many times there are houses and families that they don't have food on the table, but they do have cell phones. Especially kids, right? Or not kids, but youngsters, right? Our youngsters, they have cell phones, right? So somehow there is this project called Movement that they're trying to help to map the community, to evaluate how they could be providing support, for example, for violence, for example, for family that requires some assistance. So they're kind of mapping the community, because it's impossible to map community. But if you have a cell phone, and somehow if you allow someone to pull data from your cell phone on where you are, not to be tracking you, but you know what? If you are in a situation of violence, needing help, there's a way to ask for help through your cell phone, not putting the entire family at risk, receiving a gunshot. These kind of things. So there are situations where technology can be really helping these communities. Of course, it's not something easy. It really requires people who are inside the community to understand their requirements, their needs, and what needs to be provided. And as I was saying, right, I do believe that we need to democratize, I don't know if that's the right verb there, right, the access to information. It's not access to the internet. It's not just having 3G, 4G, 5G coming there. It's really to have access, because there are brilliant people living in communities. And I've met one lady, her name is Sol, and I used to say she's as bright as the sun. And she's wonderful. She lives in a community. I have been learning so much from her, right? Yes. And she lives in a reality that actually she is teaching me on how I can be more helpful for her. It's not it's the opposite, but and she believes that there are many things, and she doesn't know anything about technology. She's very curious. She's wonderful, but she believes that technology can change the life of many young people living in the community, providing information. Helping on education, helping on these tiny activities like providing safety to community. So I do believe that there are so many things we could explore better. to help our world today.
Nice, very nice. Oh my goodness, it was such a wonderful talk. I am so
we could spend hours, right?
We could.
All night long.
Actually, we do. Like, we just unfortunately for the viewers, they can't. But when Jeni and I get together, we do talk for hours about so many things. It's so good. I would like to thank you so much for taking the time, for being here with me. You are, I said at the beginning and I say it again, and I will say it as many times as it comes to mind. I'm a huge fan. I love you so much from my heart. You are such a wonderful person. I'm a fan, just not a fan of Jeni Shih, but the whole Shih family. People that are watching, Jeni Shih's mother, Dona Shih, she makes the best yakisoba that you can have. She has this small stand at Praça da República. How long has she been there?
Well, 35 years now? 35. Over 35.
She has been for over 35 years. She's had this stand at Praça da República where she makes yakisoba and tempura. Wow, the tempura is from another world. She is what I say about Jeni. She not only she's involved in all the social causes and making whatever she can from her little work, her little seu trabalho de formiguinha como Jeni Shih, ou uma coisa enorme, né? Como aí leading os projects com Watson, ela está sempre envolvida de alguma forma tentando mudar o mundo. E ela se envolve não só ela, mas ela traz a família inteira, né? Então a mãe da Jeni, a Dona Shih, ela tem essa barraquinha de yakisoba na Praça da República, melhor yakisoba, melhor tempurá. Quem for de São Paulo, ou quem for para São Paulo, vá na Praça da República. Agora não, depois do pandemic, sorry.
Agora ela está em casa, bonitinha.
Guardadinha, tem que estar, Dona Shih e o Senhor Shih. Mas ela faz todo ano, e ela doa todos os ingredientes, ela doa os funcionários, e a gente faz um almoço enorme aí para vender yakisoba e ajudar numa instituição que traz, né, que promove educação para crianças e jovens ali na Zona Sul de São Paulo. Então, a Jeni Shih é uma pessoa maravilhosa, de uma família maravilhosa, né? Assim, aquela coisa, né? The apple never falls too far from the tree, we say in English, né? A maçã nunca cai longe demais da árvore, é bem isso. Então, Jeni Shih is an amazing person, and her family is also amazing. I'm a big fan. So let's see. João is saying amazing conversation. Elane is saying that the tempura too is delicious. Verdade. Tamara is saying that the other way to see transformation of technology, that she learned a lot. She enjoyed and she learned a lot about technology tonight. And Jeni, she's saying she's a formiga atômica. I don't know if it's Jeni Shih or Dona Shih, mas eu coloquei a minha mãe para assistir a sua palestra da TEDx, para ela poder se preparar aqui. Não sei se minha mãe veio, acho que ela não veio porque ela sempre manda mensagem, acho que ela deve estar assistindo as palestras dela. Mas a minha mãe assistiu a sua palestra no TEDx. Eu falei, mãe, você sabe quem é a Jeni? Não, eu sei, mas eu quero ver, eu não lembro. Daí ela assistiu, ela falou assim, meu, que legal, né? Ela falou assim, e aquela coisinha faz tudo isso. Eu falei, pois é.
Tamanho não é documento, né, Jeni?
Exactly. I told my mom, yeah, mom, that's exactly it. Aquela coisinha, because whoever doesn't know Jeni Shih, she's not tall, she's not big, she's petite, she's small, but oh my goodness, she's a monster. And it's so, I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks to you, Yara. I felt really honored to be invited. Of course, I will always, there's no invitation at all that Yara thinks that I am not there. And I applaud you for everything that you do, for everything that you continue doing. I'm sure that you are also one of the wonderful human beings that are with us in this journey to make this world a better world, because we all believe in that. Mm-hmm. And whatever depends on me, you can always count on me. So, obrigada de coração, Yarinha. Foi um prazer enorme. Obrigada a todos que estavam aí.
Galera, só antes da gente terminar, pedir, como eu sempre peço, quem ainda não se inscreveu no canal, se inscreve. Curte o vídeo, porque é super importante, ó, inteligência artificial do YouTube é baseado nas curtidas, nos compartilhamentos, nos comentários. Então, por favor, quem puder, compartilha, deixa o seu like, chama os amigos. A Jeni, eu falei para ela, tem algumas pessoas que são, assim, meus coringas, que eu sei que se acontecer alguma coisa, se de última hora algum convidado não puder vir, eu posso chamar e falar assim, vem aqui falar comigo. Então, Jeni, você já fica aí de stand-by, de outro coringa, porque nosso papo não acaba aqui, eu sei que a gente tem um monte de coisa aí para conversar, e quando desce eu já te chamo de novo. Jeni, o que você vai fazer daqui a pouco? Nada. Então, vem conversar comigo no Gladly Receives, que eu tenho certeza que o pessoal vai curtir e eu vou também.
Um prazer enorme. Eu sei que assunto não falta, Yarinha.
Não falta. Então, ó, Elaine Fortuna, Sérgio Fortuna, they are watching. Get ready, because it's you here next week with me. And Jeni vai estar do outro lado assistindo eles.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it. Ok? Para quem for fazer a aula de quinta-feira, não esquece, quinta-feira sobre verb patterns. Além do básico, então tem 2 vídeos aí já no canal sobre o verb patterns do básico, para vocês aprenderem quando que o verbo que vem depois vem no ing, quando que o verbo vem depois vem no infinitivo com o to. Assiste esses 2 videozinhos que vocês já vão vir mais preparados para a aula de quinta-feira, que a gente vai ver um pouquinho além do básico, certo? E como eu falei, semana que vem, aqui, galera, recado importante, semana que vem não é às 7h30 da noite, semana que vem o Gladly Receives vai ser às 8h30, porque a família Fortuna não pode às 7h30. Os meninos, que vocês também vão conhecer, que são demais, Dudu e Gui, eles estão saindo da escola e não daria tempo deles começarem com a gente às 7h30. Então, o Gladly Receive, semana que vem, às 8h30, ao invés das 7h30. Mas aqui no mesmo bate-canal, apesar de não ser o mesmo bate-horário. Certo?
Obrigada.
Beijos em todos aí.
Obrigada, Yarinha.
Tchau,
Super beijo, cuidem.